Yeah, I have no idea what I'm gonna play. Ah!
Yeah, let's talk about Mario Kart.
Mario Kart is like your fun cousin at the family reunion. He might not be the most attractive one. He might not be the one who gets all the glory, but when you see that he's there, you know that you're gonna have a fun time. Mario Kart has a history spanning 30 years, 8 games, a mobile title, an arcade game, a gimmick, which to be fair, all of that isn't that impressive in itself. But every single Nintendo console has a Mario Kart, and every single console has Mario Kart as one of the top 5 best-selling games on the system. Zelda and Smash Brothers might get all the attention, but Mario Kart has always been the bread and butter of Nintendo's lineup in my eyes.
And it all started with Super Mario Kart. This wasn't only just the first game in the series, but this was the first game that I actually personally played as a child. I might have been barely able to speak and not even able to stand on my own, but I'm just glad I wasn't trying to put the controller in my mouth. This game is a timeless classic and built a genre completely based around simplicity. You start a 3-minute race, and by the time you cross the finish line, you already know how to play. It's like riding a bike, except that the game requires balancing, which this series wouldn't figure out for another 10 years. This introduced so many people to the world of gaming, created so many memories for kids and adults alike. To many people, this is their first exposure to video games, the first time they held a controller, the first time they felt true joy. So let's see what joy feels like.
This is Super Mario Kart. Who knew this simple cartridge would go on to do so much for gaming? Not me, I wasn't born yet. I feel like Super Mario Kart has this common misconception that it's the first kart racing game to ever exist. However, that title actually goes to Power Drift, released 4 years prior in 1988. I mean, technically we could go back to 1974 and talk about Grand Track 10, but like, come on, do you really think I could get 11 minutes out of that? I always thought of Super Mario Kart as being a culmination of events going on at its time. While F-Zero was the original go-to racing game of the Super Nintendo, it was a major success, but did come alongside 2 major complaints, one being a high level of difficulty, with the other being the lack of a multiplayer mode. Kind of an odd concept, seeing as the Super Nintendo launched without any real multiplayer games at a time when Sega was beginning to dominate the video game industry with its multiplayer access. This was a big oversight on Nintendo's part. I'm gonna invite over 15 of my friends and then we're gonna play, what, Gradius 3? So, here at Nintendo, let's take the most popular character in the world, combine it with a concept toddlers could easily understand, and... Alright, I see Mario, I see the kart. Where's the Super? I love this title screen. There's just something about the characters driving along the way that just gets me going. Taking a look at all these characters, we have all of the Super Mario staples here. There's Mario, Green Mario, Girlfriend Mario, Turtle Mario, Pet Mario, Mario's Food, Donkey Kong Jr., Big Turtle Mario. Odd choice putting Donkey Kong Jr. in here, seeing as if he's never been in a Mario Kart since. There's either one of 2 reasons for this. Either they did it because it was Donkey Kong Jr.'s 10th anniversary, or you could make an argument that a brown character with a shirt shows up much better on an all-brown stage like Choco Mountain, but... I'm not a game designer. As for difficulty, we have 2 speed options here, 50cc and 100cc, with the 150cc being unlocked after finishing each of the 4 cups. It honestly amazes me that so many Nintendo series nail the formula on the first go round. Pokemon gyms and the Pokedex, Smash characters select in the UI, and of course Mario Kart's 4 cups and engine types. As far as the gameplay goes, I mean, it's Mario Kart. You probably know how it works, so long as you know how to hold a controller. I do wish the B button wasn't used to accelerate, but that's more of a problem with the series itself, since every single game has a different way of pressing the gas. Now, as far as the gameplay goes, it has all of the core mechanics of your normal kart racer. They've been here since the very beginning. We have items, drifting, bullshit. Pop quiz! Since Super Mario Kart was the beginning of the kart genre, what is obviously the most important aspect? That's right, it's the items. Wikipedia states that a kart racer has simplified driving mechanics while including unusual track design, obstacles, and vehicular combat. Alright, yep, that's pretty much it. Go ahead, roll the credits. Snowboard Kids, Diddy Kong Racing, Blur, all vastly different games in the genre, but at the core, it's exactly how Mario Kart was intended. Get behind the start line, race to the finish, use items to get the advantage, don't fall off the edge. B lets you accelerate, A lets you brake, and Y lets you chuck a banana at an unsuspecting donkey. However, pressing R introduced the drift mechanic, a staple to the karting genre. Too bad here it controls like The drift makes the turn seem way wider than it is. Most of the time it loses more time than it gains, and I mostly end up running off the track whenever I use it. Now, am I saying the drifting is bad to justify the fact that I'm not good at it?
Yes.
There's actually a method to getting a good drift that involves braking and drifting simultaneously while hopping before you drift so you don't just slide off into oblivion, but I personally didn't find it very satisfying to use. I'd rather just break a corner and call myself lame. As for the courses we actually drift on, the selection is actually fairly good. All of these designs are directly inspired by Super Mario World with a karting twist added to the mix. Donut Plains, Bowser's Castle, Vanilla Lake, Choco Mountain, and of course Rainbow Road, all taken from Super Mario World, really sets this apart from other games at the time. Like, come on, I used to walk here? Now I'm hustling. Now, usually I would go through and talk about every track individually, but this is the SNES. We had limited storage space back then, meaning most of these tracks often repeat themselves 2 or 3 times. There are 4 Mario circuits. They're still far better than any of the Ghost Valleys. I think all of them are solid choices, but I only have a few slight problems with a couple. Vanilla Lake has these Legos in the middle of the track that are just there to slow you down. I get that they're an obstacle, but I can't ever seem to avoid these. Same thing with Banshee Boardwalk. The sides of the course do not lean to depth perception at all, so plenty of times I see myself doing this. Choco Mountain looks like the color brown. Do you see any signs of chocolate here? I didn't think so. Koopa Beach is the most aesthetically pleasing to me, but these holes you can fall in are just frustrating as hell, especially when a rival character bumps into you and sends you flying. That's another thing. Each character has a different weight, so if you are a lightweight character trying to make it to the front, it doesn't help that all of these characters also cheat. Rubber banding. Tell this to any professional Mario Kart player and watch them shit their pants. Stop. Rubber banding is when the computer AI gets a speed boost if you're getting too far ahead, like a rubber band keeping the tension between the 2 racers close.
It's bullshit.
AI will just randomly sneak up on you, characters will get power-ups without any notice whatsoever. It's not difficult to get into first place, but if you do manage to make a mistake, you better just go ahead and hang up the white flag now. Quick restart, my life.
I've always thought the concept of rubber banding in racing games is aggravating. I've always seen racing games as a test of skill and course knowledge, so I don't like my chances of winning being tied behind vehicular combat and a shred of luck. Half of the fun of racing games is outmaneuvering your opponent and seeing how far ahead you can pull. So when I'm out in the front of the field and I get hit by a blue shell and end up going from 1st to 5th in a matter of seconds right before the finish line, do you see what I have a problem with here? It's the fact that this game doesn't have a blue shell in it.
The normal question blocks might not be here, but items are present in the form of panels. The spaces? I'm not exactly sure, it doesn't really say. All of your normal Mario Kart staples are here. Green shells, red shells, and bananas can all be thrown. Mushrooms speed up your cart, which don't have any type of visual indicator. It's 1992, I've got better things to bitch about. The lightning bolt and star are the same that we know them as, making a character invincible and shrinking other racers. But we also have the coin and the feather, 2 items that are always up in the air whether they're gonna be in the next game or not. People always sleep on the coin. Every time you pick one up, you get a slight boost, which might not seem like much, but there's a discernible difference once you get a good handful of these puppies. They don't have any application outside of races though. But the feather is the SMK exclusive, as we wouldn't see this item return until Mario Kart 8 Deluxe 25 years later. Yeah, it's just a hop.
And that is Super Mario Kart. Well, half of Super Mario Kart. This was the first big multiplayer experience for many on a console, and I've gotta say, it is the only true way to experience this game to its fullest almost 30 years later.
It's the same exact game except 2 players. I've never been a big fan of having the map take up the entire bottom corner of the screen, but adding a second player to the mix really makes this look feel natural. Of course, in multiplayer you can run the normal game, or compete in a match race to test your skills against each other in a one-on-one competition to see who comes out on top. But of course, this also opens up the battle mode, the fierce putting of 2 characters against each other in a do-or-die deathmatch. I don't like this one. Because of how stiff the kart handling is, most of the time battle mode ends up being trying to slowly turn yourself around to find your opponent. Since you're only being pitted up against one character, these course designs do not lend themselves out to keeping it engaging for more than 5 minutes. We have the special item Boo, which makes you transparent, and that's pretty neat, but I was frustrated after the first 5 minutes because I still didn't have the first match completed.
And that is Super Mario Kart, the beginning and the popularization of the kart racing genre. Do I think that the game is good? I guess it's a nice little title to come back to see how far we've come over the years, but I honestly got tired of it after about an hour. It set the groundwork for the hundreds of kart racers to come after it and gave Nintendo the go-to home for multiplayer experiences, while also giving us one of the most popular game series of all time. Even if taking a look back at the game is subpar. But that's the way these games worked back then. You'd invite over 6 of your friends, and each one would take turns trying to best the other. So 1 hour turns into 6 hours, and then 6 hours turns into a weekly get-together. But all of my friends are either busy, working, or non-existent, and I still have an entire day left to kill, so it's been fun. But I need to find a more fulfilling experience if I want to fill out this day.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm gonna play. Ah! I knew that was gonna happen.